Good evening and welcome to the August 12th, 2025 meeting of the Marion County School Board. It is now called to order. Mirroring and modeling the way our students begin each day, I ask that we observe a moment of silence at this time. Please join me. Thank you. Ms. Thrower, would you read the board commitment statement, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Chair. We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first, and we will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience to please turn off their electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located in the lobby. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received to the board clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Good evening, Ms. Martinez-Young. Would you call the roll, please?
Good evening, Madam Chair. Dr. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Lori Conrad, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Dr. Sarah James, District 5.
Here.
Cullen Briggs, Forest High School.
Here.
Luke Lombardo, Westport High School.
Here.
Dr. Danielle Brewer, Interim Superintendent.
Here.
And Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez-Young. Good evening, Dr. Brewer. Will you share who's going to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance this evening?
Absolutely, yes. I have the privilege of introducing Dr. John Pope. He will provide an inspiration to us and then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I should probably adjust that. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Brewer, and good evening, Board Chair Conrad and school board members. Thank you for this opportunity tonight. I'd like to tell you a little story that will take us back a few years. It was 2011. I was 22 years old, and it was my first day as a substitute teacher. Now, as many of you may know, if you enter a second grade classroom and you don't know what you're doing, they know. They could tell instantly that I had little business being there, and my day was a scene of what we might call anarchy. Children running, flailing their arms, climbing on desks. Chairs were airborne, whizzing by in the background. There were clangs and thuds and some crying involved, although I think the crying was mostly me. Amid the chaos, I felt a gentle tug on my shirt sleeve. I looked down and discovered a small girl peering up at me with concern in her eyes. She said, "You may want to consider doing something because you're losing control of this classroom." That's a true story, she really said that. Now, I could have said to her, "I'm the teacher, you need to go sit down and mind your own business." But instead, I paused, I took a deep breath, and I looked down and said, "What do you have in mind?" So she filled me in on all the routines and procedures, what the students were supposed to be working on, and she helped me. Together as a team, we got everyone what they needed and restored the learning environment. So this lesson was twofold, and it has stuck with me to this day. It was a lesson in humility and a lesson in courage. Humility, as a leader, means serving and empowering others. It's being a servant leader who sees the good in people and helps them see the good in themselves as they learn and grow. It's measuring your own success by the success of others. Lift others up, and they will lift you in return. Humility is also self-reflection and growth. Ernest Hemingway once said, "There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." All you have to do to grow each day is try to be better than you were yesterday. Many believe it takes some grand gesture of power to enact change, but that is not so. The biggest differences are made from the smallest intricacies of everyday life. It's the detail work that matters. The small acts of kindness and servitude from everyday ordinary folk who want to help each other be better. So growing together and being better together requires humility, reciprocity, and courage. Courage to work as one team, to be relentless, to fight complacency and embrace change. And I can tell you from personal experience, courage does not always present itself the way you expect it. Sometimes courage is a little voice in your head at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. Sometimes courage comes in the form of a small child who's brave enough to help in a time of need. And when things are a little hectic and they aren't going how you thought they'd go and you feel like you've lost your way, pause and breathe, because you just might feel a little tug on your shirt sleeve. And if you do, I implore you to have the humility to listen. It may be a chance to give someone else a voice, and you just might find the courage to press on. Thank you, and if you would, all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Dr. Pope, thank you very much for that perfectly timed inspiration for us at the start of the school year. Thank you very much. And if you will hang on, we're going to do recognitions next, and then I'd like for you to join us for a photo. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Brewer.
Okay. We already said here, but I want to officially welcome Cullen and Luke to our meeting this evening. I want to share a few things about each of them. Luke is a senior at Westport High School. Go Wolfpack. He is a part of both the Apex program and the Biomedical Magnet. He will also graduate this year, 2026, with his AA degree and an AP capstone diploma, correct? Yep. He also participates in cross country and track, and you may know he frequently competes in races. I've seen him around town running, so he's a runner. So welcome, Mr. Lombardo. Thank you, Cullen, for being here. Cullen Briggs is a senior at Forest High School. He is part of a CCAP magnet program and is a top leader in Forest's Air Force JROTC program and will graduate as an AP scholar. He also participates in golf and lacrosse. So welcome, Cullen, and thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
All right, now I will introduce Mr. Whitehouse. He has two different recognitions this evening, so he will probably let both of them be recognized, and then we can do two separate pictures, if you're okay with that.
Great.
Okay, Mr. Whitehouse, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, board chair, board members. So our first recognition tonight, we'd like to recognize our three new principals in Marion County Public Schools this evening. So first up, as a first-year principal, Ms. Jennifer Pollard. Ms. Pollard has proudly served Marion County Public Schools for the last 20 years. She began her career as a fourth grade teacher and has since held roles as a math and science coach, dean, and assistant principal. She earned her bachelor's in elementary education and Spanish from Flagler College and her master's in educational leadership from American College of Education. Jennifer is a proud Harborview Elementary parent and community member. Her daughter will start her kindergarten year at Harborview as well. So Ms. Jennifer Pollard. Come on down. Our second new principal this evening is not new to the principalship, but new to Marion County Public Schools, and we're really excited to have her join us, Miss Vicki McElhenney. She brings over 20 years of experience in public education. She holds a bachelor's in elementary education, a master's in exceptional student education, and a specialist degree in educational leadership from Nova Southeastern University. Now in her 7th year as an instructional leader, Vicki is excited to serve the Saddlewood Elementary community. She's also a proud mom of twin boys and wife to a fire rescue lieutenant. So, Ms. McElhenney. And our third new principal you heard from just a moment ago, Dr. John Pope, who's taking over East Marion Elementary School. Dr. Pope has served in K-12 education a variety of instructional and leadership roles. He began as a high school English teacher at North Marion High School before becoming instructional coach, dean, and assistant principal across all grade levels. Dr. Pope earned his master's and doctorate in educational leadership from National Louis University and now serves as principal of East Marion Elementary. He also teaches graduate students as an adjunct professor, and his professional passions include leadership development, mentorship, and student-teacher relationships. Dr. Pope. All right, so those are our three new principals. We're really excited to share them, and I think we'll be doing a picture of them in just a moment if you guys want to stick around. And next, we'd like to recognize some other important folks on our district team. So each summer, our school and district leaders spend weeks poring over data, developing new plans, hiring new staff, running summer school, planning professional learning, implementing new curriculum resources, and getting ready to welcome back thousands of teachers and students to a new year. And while much attention is paid to the academic preparation needed to start school, the real magic of opening schools each August happens behind the scenes. Tonight, we'd like to pull back the curtain and shine a spotlight on some of the amazing teams that make opening schools possible each summer. We are grateful for the support from the hardworking men and women in maintenance, our grounds crew, custodians, and the warehouse. So representing the maintenance department tonight, we have Mr. Sean Duncan, the department supervisor. Sean, come on down. So this summer, the maintenance department has closed out almost 1,300 work orders. On top of that, they relocated or installed 34 portables, including new utilities, sidewalks, and ramps, disconnected utilities and removed 20 leased portables throughout the district, replaced the carpet and vinyl campus-wide at Reddick Collier Elementary, replaced the carpet and vinyl in Building 8 at North Marion High School, replaced the carpet in the front office here at MTI, cleaned and serviced all the cooling towers and chillers throughout the district, cleaned and provided routine maintenance to over 3,800 HVAC units throughout the district, provided routine maintenance to 37 emergency generators throughout the district, installed 117 interactive flat panels and the necessary electric for the technology department, repaired underground water main leaks at Bellevue High School, Emerald Shores, and Bellevue Elementary School, and that was just last week. I'm kidding, but absolutely phenomenal work from our maintenance team. We all think so highly of Mr. Duncan and his crew, and they just do amazing work. So we're really proud of him, proud of his team, and the work that they do to help us get our schools ready. So thank you, Mr. Duncan. So representing our custodians and grounds crew this evening, we have Carrie Cook, our coordinator. Carrie, if you'll come on down. And we have some of his senior staff here with him, Carolyn Floyd, James Lamont, Frank Pickens, and Daisy Rodriguez. Come on down. So our grounds crew are responsible for maintaining all outside grounds at all district properties. That's over 1,600 acres of property they maintain, which includes weed eating, edging, trimming hedges as needed, spraying fence lines, concrete areas and beds on all district property, and running the clam truck to pick up debris on district property. Some of their site-specific projects they did this summer, North Marion Middle School, they removed shrubs and replaced mulch. Emerald Shores Elementary, they lifted the tree canopy and performed some landscaping, fertilized and aerated all athletic fields across the district. At Camp Kiwanis, they lifted trees and mowed during Camp Kiwanis. Forest High School, they lifted some of the trees. Harborview Elementary School cut down some trees. Wyoming Park Elementary School removed 3 dead pine trees. Sunrise Elementary School lifted more trees, and Oakcrest Elementary School. And I have to tell you, Ms. Dobbs, if you have not been by Oakcrest, is incredibly appreciative of the work that they did at that school. So kudos to all the work from our grounds crew. Our custodial department deep cleaned over 7.1 million square feet of district-owned property this summer, which includes waxing floors and cleaning all carpets. A ton of work provided by these folks. So thank you to our grounds crew and to our custodial teams. And then our last group we'd like to recognize is our warehouse crew. So here this evening from our warehouse team, we have Miss Amelia Bray, the foreman, Stuart Barber, Woody Bozeman, and Robbie Clemens, if you guys will come on down. So to add to that showcase of work, our warehouse team furnished those 34 portals, delivered 115 interactive smart boards, 300 copiers across the district as we updated all of our copy machines across the district, over 3,000 summer classroom orders delivered, over 100 pallets to the 2 new schools were delivered supplies for all of our summer camps, and that's not even counting the number of desks and chairs moved throughout the district on a daily basis. So just a phenomenal job by our warehouse team. They come anytime you need them, the moment you need them, and we're so appreciative of all of their work. So thank you to all of our support teams for getting us ready this year. That's us. So if
Right.
you guys want to come for a picture?
I'm feeling tired just from you listing all of the things
Me too.
that they have done for us this summer. So we are extremely grateful. Being a previous teacher, I know we call and when are we going to get our stuff? When is this going to be done? So I just want to say a heartfelt thank you for your tireless work to prepare us. You know, everyone shows up on the first day of school and things look great, and that is a big thank you to you and the work that your teams have done all summer long. So we'd love to come down and celebrate with you. Just a second.
Okay, y'all too. These are the pictures that Mr. Christian uses on the fast pass, so we'll have to show you how to find them.
I'll only do this one time, so just excuse me. There we go, much better. Here we go, everybody's looking this direction. Front row, hands right at your side. Perfect. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, couple more. And one more. Good. Thank you. Hands right at your side. That's perfect, right like that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, couple more. And high, 1, 2. Good job. Thank you.
Probably just gonna talk about stuff that's going on first. But mine's no.
Had the loving, like welcoming feeling that she's received since she's been in Marion County. Oh, it's my turn.
Okay, Dr. Brewer.
All right. All right, I recommend approval of the agenda for the August 12th, 2025 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting, with the exception of items D 19.1, D 19.2, D 19.3, D 19.4, D 19.5, D 19.6, D 19.7, and D 19.8 that have been placed under discussion regular agenda items, and C 15.1 that has been pulled and placed under discussion pulled agenda items, and also item C 14.5 that has been completely withdrawn from the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
Motion to approve?
Second. Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Martinez-Young, would you please provide the proof of publication for tonight's school board meeting?
The notice for the August 12th, 2025 school board meeting ran in the Ocala Gazette on August 1st, 2025. The proof of publication has been attached in board docs under proof of publication.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 19th, 2025 administrative briefing and work session?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Thank you, Dr. Campbell and Ms. Thrower. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 24th, 2025 school board meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 8th, 2025 school board meeting?
Motion to approve? Second?
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Good evening, Attorney Powers. Please explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board this evening.
Good evening. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to address the board for public comment?
No, Attorney Powers. No speakers.
Then we can proceed to the next item on the agenda, which I believe would be item 8.1, public hearing for 2025-2026 recommended textbooks 6 to 8.
Thank you. Item 8.1 is a public hearing. I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address the 2025-2026 textbooks for adoption for middle school health? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to our next item. I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address the 2025-2026 textbooks for adoption for Hope Physical Education? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 9.1 for informational purposes. The school district used a construction management delivery method and included a guaranteed maximum price to perform construction work on this project in order to allow the district to purchase materials through the owner direct purchase process to save sales tax. The construction manager needs to return the funds to the owner via this deductive change order. This purchase will allow the district to save approximately $153,620.71 in sales tax. The superintendent or designee has signed and approved the change orders. Per Board Policy 6345, the superintendent or designee is authorized to approve and execute any construction contract change order that will be binding upon the executive by the superintendent or designee. The superintendent or designee shall report each change order she approves to the board at the board meeting that follows her approval. Approval of the change order shall be entered into the official minutes of the board meeting. Item 9.1, guaranteed maximum price for the Marion Technical Institute security fencing, change order number 1, work authorization number 18, project 23-131. Item 9.2, lighting systems upgrade at Vanguard High School, change order number 2, work authorization number 1, project 23-137. Board, this concludes the informational items for today's meeting. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C 11.1 through C 18.2, with the exception of items D 19.1, D 19.2, D 19.3, D 19.4, D 19.5, D 19.6, D 19.7, and D 19.8 that have been placed under discussion, regular agenda items, and item C 15.1, which has been pulled and placed under discussion, pulled agenda items, and also item C 14.5, which has been completely withdrawn from the agenda. May I have a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Before addressing expulsion matters, I wish to acknowledge that board members have received the alternative placement list for students through July 21st, 2025. Ms. Martinez-Young, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matter?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 26-002E for the remainder of the 2024-2025 school year and the first quarter of the 2025-2026 school year? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank-
Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 26-001E with off-campus virtual learning for the remainder of the 2024-2025 and the entire 2025-2026 school year? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to discussion items, item D 19.1. May I have a motion to approve the Seventh Amendment Agreement with Instructure, Inc.?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item for us.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. We have Mr. Benvenuti, our Director of Technology. He will provide brief remarks on this item tonight.
Good evening, Chair Conrad, Superintendent Dr. Brewer, and board members. The Technology and Information Services Division is seeking approval to amend the existing agreement with Instructure Incorporated, the provider of Canvas Learning Management. They're our LMS, Learning Management System. Canvas serves as our district primary digital learning platform, enabling a comprehensive online learning environment that supports both the traditional classroom instruction and distance education. This amendment will ensure that the district continues to benefit from the subscription, technical support, and platform enhancements provided by Instructure, allowing for seamless instructional delivery and consistent access for students, educators, and administrators.
Thank you, Mr. Benvenuti. Board, do you have any questions that you'd like to bring forward? Comments or concerns? Okay. All right, Board, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Benvenuti.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the Memorandum of Understanding for current identified Tier 1 comprehensive support and improvement schools between Marion County Public Schools and Marion Education Association for the 2025-2026 school year? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Dr. Brewer, you have some information for us on this item.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Ms. Morant, Wantanisa Morant. She's the Executive Director over Human Resources. She will provide information on the MOU with Marion County Public Schools and the MEA.
Thank you and good evening, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, Chair Conrad and board members. Item 19.2 is the MOU between MEA and the Marion County School Board and addresses our 4 identified Tier 1 comprehensive support and improvement schools in alignment with state school improvement requirements. The MOU focuses on recruiting and retaining highly effective, certified, and experienced teachers, providing targeted professional development and planning support, offering annual recruitment and retention bonuses, and managing staffing to ensure these schools maintain strong instructional teams. The goal is to attract, support, and keep top educators in our most in-need schools. So I turn it back to you, Dr. Brewer, for any additional comments or questions.
Don't have any for you, board.
Okay, I open it up to the board. Any questions or concerns? Oh, yes,
I'll
Ms.
just-
Thrower.
Yes, thank you. I'll just say quickly, I'm so glad that we're getting this in place at the start of the school year.
Very nice, great. Okay, anything further? Okay, all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Moran. May I have a motion to approve the special data share agreement with Everway LLC?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item for us?
Yes, I have Ms. Williams-Jones, but before we move forward, I do want to clarify something.
Okay.
On the, if you'll notice, the requested dollar amount is, we are asking for much less, a significant amount difference than what was on board docs for the public. So I want to, Ms. Williams-Jones can clarify that, but we are asking for, on the $1.6 million item, we're asking only for $6,000 for this agenda. So it's important to note that that was an error.
That's 19.5.
Okay,
Board.
thank you.
So, yes,
I was- thank
thank you, Dr. James. Ms. Williams-Jones.
Good evening, Interim Superintendent Dr. Brewer, Chair Conrad, and board members. Item 19.3, the contract with Everway LLC, is the permission to provide this unique learning system subscription. This web-based program aligns with the Florida Standards Access Points for students with significant cognitive disabilities. The curriculum will assist teachers in meeting the individual educational needs and allow staff at the following schools to provide this support. This curriculum will be provided for Bellevue Middle, Bellevue High, Dunellen High, Fort King Middle, Forest High, Hillcrest School, Horizon Academy, Howard Middle, Lake Weir High, Liberty Middle School, North Marion High School, Osceola Middle School, Vanguard High School, and Westport High School. The purchase of this curriculum allows us to support approximately 400 students with significant cognitive disabilities.
Thank you, Ms. Williams-Jones. Board, any questions, concerns? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the First Amendment with the Stepping Stones Group, LLC? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Ms. Williams-Jones, do you have information to share on this item also?
Yes. So
Okay, thank you.
The contract with the Stepping Stones Group provides speech-language pathologists for our students who have speech and language services on their IEP. This First Amendment increase is for $93,342.75, which then brings the total contract amount to $459,312 for the 25-26 school year.
Thank you very much. Board?
Chair.
Yes.
Just one point, and I had it written down, and I'll bring it up for 19.5 as well, but I think it's important that we clarify and have the numbers correct in board docs, because we're not approving $459,000 tonight, we're approving $93,342.75. And in a time when our budget is of such concern for everyone, including ourselves, I think that we need to be reflecting the appropriate amount in board docs, seeing as that is where the community goes to see the high-level view of what we're spending. So just making that aware that the amount is not that 400 amount.
Thank you, Dr. James. Anything further? Oh, Dr. Campbell.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Dr. James, for that, because it is in the same school year. Certainly, the total amount that we'll be spending with them is the $459,000, but earlier this summer, we already approved the first amount, and so this is the additional amount, and it's all in the same school year. So thank you for the clarification, but you're correct in that technically it should have been the 93 amount that we're approving that's in addition to what we already approved.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Nothing further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the First Amendment with Citrus Hearing Impaired Program Services Incorporated? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Dr. Brewer, information on this item? Ms.
And this is
Jones.
the item that I shared earlier. This increase is for $6,384, just like Dr. Campbell stated. The board already approved the higher dollar amount, which is including, so the total amount would be 1.6 million, but tonight we're asking for approval of the 6,000. But Ms. Williams-Jones, can you add additional information?
So this contract is with the interpreters who are providing services throughout the district for our students who are hearing impaired. And so the increase that's requested in the amendment is actually a correction to the contract, because after the previous contract was approved and we went back and looked at it and started to have conversation with our providers, we did notice that there was a math error. And so we wanted to correct that and bring that to the board's attention so that the approval of the final numbers in the contract are correct.
Thank you so much. Board, I open up. Yes, Dr. James.
Yes, and so this was the original one that I had caught, that I had brought up, but my concern or question, I guess would be the better answer, is if an item is under $50,000, it doesn't even generally come before the board. So if this had been identified as only costing $6,000, would it have still come before the board, or it would have just been?
Yes.
Yes, because the total amount was 1.6.
Okay, even though we're adding an amendment?
Yes, ma'am.
That's in fact why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's
So, thank you for that clarification. So, again, if someone from the community is just tallying our numbers, 1.6 million and 6,000 are two very different numbers. So I just think we need to get very consistent with the number we're putting in dollar amount. Thank you.
Dr. Brewer, is it possible to edit when we're doing our agenda, or to put what the initial, I know it's in the history, if you go down further, but I wonder if there's, I think actually we talked about this before.
We have, we've discussed that, and that's why in that area, that actual dollar amount under the top section of agenda item details, that is supposed to only reflect what we are requesting at this evening's board meeting. That's why we have to be real clear in our language on the financial history to show the history of it, whether it's an amendment or a renewal, and the dollar amount attached to each event.
Okay. All right, so we have room to improve in that area.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chair, am I able to say something?
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for coming to talk about this on behalf of what is being done and the motions that are being brought forward, because I do think that helping people who have cognitive disabilities and those who are impaired in various ways, whether those who need speech pathologists or those who are visually impaired or have hearing disabilities, I do think that this is very important to be brought forward, because many people do suffer from these and they are kind of pushed to the side sometimes because of their disabilities. And I do think that what is being done in our county for this is really awesome and is something that should definitely be upheld. So I just wanted to thank you for speaking on behalf of it.
And so thank you for your comments. You two are representing Forest and Westport, and we have a significant number of students with disabilities on both of their campuses, and so those are your fellow students, and I know you see them every day. So thank you for recognizing that your classmates need the support that we provide. I appreciate that.
Fantastic. All right, anything further? Okay, Ms. Thrower.
Just a quick question on the total amount of over $1.5 million and where the money is going. When we have students that are in the public school system, obviously the money is going to serve them. But what about our students that are availing, and the families are availing themselves of the education scholarships, like to private schools or some other program? Does money from this go towards that as well?
So the money that's outlined here is to serve the students who are primarily in Marion County. For the interpreting services, those are our students who need interpreting services to access supports in the classroom, but also last year we had an interpreter at football practice with a student at Forest who needed to have that additional support, even though he had a cochlear implant when he was on the sideline and there was discussions. He couldn't always hear that, so the interpreter supported him with that. So for this contract specifically, those are Marion County students in our public schools. For our speech and language services, there are students who are in our private schools who do receive speech and language services. So some of the dollars that we receive federally and through the district do support those students for speech and language services.
Great, thank you for sharing that, because it's a pretty broad reach, that we have to try to make sure that regardless of what umbrella students are standing under, that they get an umbrella. And that was my point in bringing it up. Thank you.
I just had one more question, if I can ask it.
Go right ahead.
I was just curious because I know we were just talking about the reach that this is able to have. I was just curious, I apologize if it was already outlined, but is this also available for people in MCPS virtual classes as well, or is it just in person?
So supports through exceptional student education is available to our students who are participating online. It just depends on what they need. So sometimes the services they receive are delivered virtually. Sometimes for the specific therapies, like speech and language therapy, they may actually come. We have classrooms here at MTI for our Marion County virtual students. And so they may receive some of those services actually here or in person at a building site, the base school that they would be attached to if they were actually attending school. So it really depends on the needs of the particular student. But yes, we do provide services for them through exceptional student education as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, this might be my favorite topic of the evening. So great. All right, anything further? Okay, with that, we'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Board. May I have a motion to approve the food service agreement with Heartland Payment Solutions, LLC for the 2025 through the 2031 school years?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item for us.
Yes, Miss Ramona Belcher is already at the podium. She's ready to go, but as she's there, I do want to share with you, she did an amazing job welcoming back all of the food and nutrition services staff last week. It was a beautiful, beautiful welcome back, and they recognized, as you know, I shared a picture, they recognized Miss Boston Ellis for being an incredible leader in that department. So thank you, Ms. Belcher, for your remarks tonight.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Brewer. Food Nutrition Services is seeking approval to establish a new agreement with Heartland Payment Solutions, LLC, covering annual license fees, equipment purchases, and the online meal payment systems, My School Bucks. This is for the 2025 through 2031 school year. The annual licensing fees support the school nutrition operations, including inventory, meal planning, production records, and the point of sale. The equipment purchases will cover replacement parts for the point of sale, and the My School Bucks programs allows parents to manage student payments online securely, offering customer support, low balance alerts, and recurring payment options. So approving this agreement will enable Food Nutrition Services to continue using the software systems currently employed in the school operations.
Thank you very much. Board, any questions or, yes, Dr. Campbell?
It's just a comment. Ms. Belcher knows that I personally, in my personal email account, sent an email yesterday. This is a seamless transition. Whenever I had a graduate that had an outstanding balance and was able to transfer it immediately into my freshman. So we have that going on, and my freshman's excited because he bought chips and like 3 packs of gummies every day last year, apparently. But that's what this is for, and I'm grateful for that part of it. And I actually had the opportunity today, speaking on a community radio station, talking about food and nutrition services and why somehow it made the news that all of our students are getting free breakfast and lunch, even though that's something that's been happening for multiple years in a row. And so it's slow news day, I guess. But nevertheless, grateful for all the work that you put in on this, and this platform works really well and seamlessly for families on the other side of it. So I'm just grateful for your team and the work you're putting in. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell.
Very quick.
Sorry, Dr. Yes.
I had a bit of sticker shock when I first saw the number. It seems like a very big number for essentially a management platform. But when you do like quick, easy math on it, over 6 years, 52 school sites, it's like $2,000 per school per year, which is actually a very reasonable $1 to be able to have a program. So getting into the weeds of the narrative there to be able to figure that out, but it is, it's really, I think it highlights, it's very cost effective in the world of management systems and what it does. And it is very easy from a parent perspective. If parents are looking to add a little money into their account, you might want to set those parameters so they're not buying 3 gummies every day, but but it's, you put your card on there, it's like shopping on Amazon. It's super easy. So it's a great program, works well. I've had no kinks myself as a parent, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Dr. James.
Can I expand on that
Yeah,
for one moment? I know they gave their parent perspectives, but as a student, I just wanted to expand on the fact that this is a very efficient way to do things, and I think that a lot of people may see school food and they just kind of put it to the side. They're like, oh, it's school food, it's not going to be that good, but it really is very nutritional, and it has a lot of nutritional status and vitamins and minerals and things that students really do need. And I think that a lot of parents have been able to recognize that and giving their students school food. And so I just appreciate everything you do and everything that everyone involved in the food programs in the schools do. And so I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Right. Anything else? Okay.
I don't know that we ever said the dollar amount.
Did we say the dollar amount? 750,000?
It's, yes, 750,000 with a 1-year renewal option for 3 additional years. So with all the additional renewals, it could reach potential 1.125 million.
Okay. But this contract takes us through 31.
Correct.
Correct. All right. Just to clarify. Right. Okay. Anything further?
No.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you so much, Ms. Belcher. May I have a motion to request for proposal 4115RC self-funded medical plan, ASO, and request for proposal 4117RC prescription drug plan, pharmacy benefit management, and combined resulting agreement. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this, even though we have spent quite a bit of time talking about this previously.
Yes, we have. But Ms. Boston Ellis will come introduce our guest this evening.
Chair Conrad, board members, and Interim Superintendent Dr. Brewer. Tonight, we have 2 items from risk management, but we'll start with 19.7. We have Stacy Roth with our risk management department and Laurel Lingle, our consultant with Gallagher. They have spent many months working on these 2 RFPs, and with the help of Attorney Powers, combined these 2 items in an agreement. I want to say that they have done a really great job, and at this point, I'll just we'll defer it to Ms. Lingle to provide a brief summary, because as Mrs. Conrad stated, you have been you've had 2 different work sessions, as well as knowing about what is going on with the RFP. Ms. Lingle.
Thank you, Ms. Boston Ellis.
Thank
Good
you.
evening,
Good
Ms. Lingle.
evening, Dr. Brewer, Chair Conrad, board members. We are happy to have the contract ready for signature for the RFP for TPA services on the self-funded health plan, as well as for PBM services or pharmacy benefit manager. As Ms. Boston Ellis indicated, because Florida Blue was the winning vendor for both contracts, we were able to work with Attorney Powers to combine those, and we appreciate his extra efforts in doing that for us. So this is a 3-year contract with Florida Blue, again, the winning vendor. We were able to negotiate down the per employee per month fee that is being established with this new contract. So again, 3 years under the contract with the ability to extend for 3 additional 1-year contracts. In addition, we were able to negotiate some services through a value choice provider, which we can name and advertise for once the contract is signed. This will give employees some services at no cost, as well as some additional wellness services. We were also able to negotiate some additional funding for an on-site wellness person that would sit at the district. So that's an additional $100,000. We're looking forward to utilizing that person to expand the wellness offerings that we have in hopes of negating some of the high cost claimants that we are seeing. The PBM service negotiation increased the rebates that we will be receiving for some of those brand medications. It also improved upon the ability to audit the PBM services, which is very important to ensure that we are receiving those rebates, and also added some performance guarantees so that we can guarantee that the plan is performing the way it should. So we're excited to have this ready for open enrollment, which will begin in October.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lingle. I know you've spent a lot of time with us over the summer, so we appreciate you being here again this evening. Board, any comments or questions? Okay, yes, Ms. Thrower.
Yes, I'll just say great negotiating. Thank you very much on everyone's behalf. This is, if I'm reading it right, over $11 million that we're talking about, and being able to take the best care we can to help support our employees in their health journey, means a lot. So I guess I'm just coming to the conclusion after what our student board member just shared, that if we eat school food and exercise, we'll stay healthy.
That's right.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Anything else? Oh,
I just want to say great work, and we really value your professionalism. It's made this process a good one.
Thank you.
With a good outcome.
thank you, Attorney Powers. Anything further? Okay, seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the changes to the self-funded health plan?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Is there any discussion at this time? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We'll move on to discussion pulled agenda items. May I have a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Board of Directors for the Public Education Foundation of Marion County?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. James. May I have- Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Dr. Campbell, you pulled this item. Would you like to have further discussion?
Yes, Chair, thank you so much. So a couple of reasons I pulled this item, one of which, and I knew that you weren't highlighting it yourself, but because your name is in it, and as the most recent board member who's been in that position, I wanted to say to the public, make them fully aware that the board chair is a non-voting member, and being listed in the document is completely appropriate for her to vote on this item. So I wanted to say that, and you probably wouldn't have had, but I wanted to say that for you. But the second reason that I pulled this item, and I believe we had this discussion last year as well, if I'm not mistaken, because one member of the board list has been presented and is included by name repeatedly in the investigation of complaint regarding improprieties of the high school construction manager contract procurement committee, that report by Gray Robinson dated May 27th, 2024. That causes me significant pause in approving this as presented. I certainly respect the authority of the Public Education Foundation as a nonprofit to choose and select their board members. However, as a direct support organization of this district, I believe it's required for this board to approve these board members as presented, as we have seen this item every year that I've been a board member, and probably long before that. So I am not really okay with considering this a bless and release moment for it to have simply been placed in the consent agenda. And for those reasons, that's why I've chosen to pull this item to have a specific vote on it.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. With your comments, I'd like to offer Ms. Megan Magamo the opportunity, if she chooses, to come to the dais if there's anything you'd like to share with the board.
Good evening, Dr. Brewer, Chair Conrad, and school board members. Always a great chance to share the work of our Public Education Foundation. Since our inception in 1989, we have remained dedicated to supporting Marion County Public Schools, its students, and its teachers. And just to highlight some of the work of our Education Foundation board members this past year, $300,000 in school business support, $322,000 in Take Stock in Children's student scholarships. We helped facilitate 3,151 mentoring hours, $260,000 in tools for teaching supplies for teachers, $115,000 in grants for good ideas for teacher initiatives in the classroom, $71,000 in scholarships for teacher-to-be recipients and the class of 2025, and almost $500,000 in additional support for school safety initiatives, student resiliency and mental health and wellness, family engagement, and literacy. I will state the members of our foundation board play an integral part of the work of our organization, and it requires a lot of commitment. This past year, those board members listed on tonight's agenda contributed 648 hours of volunteer service. And most importantly, it requires passion for public education, and we need more passion dedicated to serving our schools like our board members do. In fact, in our boardroom, we have a sign, and it says, "All kids are our kids." Supporting, giving protection, and comfort to other people's children, it's not an act of charity. It is an opportunity for all of us to enrich the future. I will say that our board members believe that volunteering on our board is not an act of charity. It is to enrich our school district. They are proud graduates of Marion County Public Schools. They are proud employers of Marion County Public School graduates. They are parents of the current students who arrived on campuses yesterday. And they are all a part of the One Team, One Mission effort to support our school district. I'm proud to be joined by our chair, Mike Mills, graduate of Marion County Public Schools as well, our vice chair, Chris Yancey, and our executive committee member, John David Cervalera, who joined me this evening. So thank you, board.
Thank you, Megan. We sure do appreciate the work that you and your team do. I think that you outwork and produce over all of the foundations in Florida. So I know that we couldn't do our job without the support of your team. And so I, Lori Conrad, board member for Marion County Public Schools, just want to say I trust the process. I trust the work that you do. You continue to support us in every facet, from staff to students, everyone that you come into contact with. So thank you for the work that you do every single day. I know over the summer they were providing refreshments, really fancy refreshments. Mike said that he did too. He was part of that team for our staff while they were at training this summer and kicking off for our teachers back to school. So just really appreciate the work that you do. Board, I'll open it up to any other comments. Sure. Yeah, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, and thanks again, Megan, for sharing the depth, breadth, and scope of how you support our students through Marion County Public Schools. And one of the things that I admire the most about your organization are the direct services that are given to students and teachers, and just helping lift up the community. Your organization has become so visible in so many ways, and I am a champion of you personally and also of everything that your mission is and what you're trying to do. And for that reason, there is a very, very high level of honor and integrity that should surround anyone and everyone that is associated with your organization. And we've had conversations about this. I'm comfortable with the outcome. I've made my peace with it. And I hope that it will be long remembered as an example of how important it is. We hold our students to high levels of accountability, but we also give grace, and then we move forward, and we don't let it taint the mission. But we stay vigilant. So those are my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Anything further? Yes, Dr. James.
I just wanted to, the Public Ed Foundation does tremendous work, and I, since becoming a board member, have had just tremendous opportunity to be able to learn about the different facets and ways that I can serve our community through the Public Ed Foundation. And so being a business partner for Madison Street, my husband being a business partner for North Marion High School, which is his alma mater, which took some convincing over the years, but I was able to convince him. And being a Take Stock mentor, I was on campuses, which I'll talk about in my comments, but the kids are the best part about education, by far. And when you get removed from a school, you lose that, for a lot of us, the reason we're educators, which is the kids. The kids are the best part. And so I was on campuses welcoming, as many of us were on Monday morning, and I saw my mentee. She was getting her schedule at North Marion High School, and I got to see her. And what a special relationship we've been able to build over the last 2 years. And it's those programs that the Public Ed Foundation does, which are tremendous, and I am so grateful for. And I am very appreciative that I have the pleasure and opportunity to serve the foundation in that capacity and serve our community. So wonderful work. I'm so grateful to be a partner with you all.
Thank you, Dr. James. Anything further? Yes.
I would just like to say thank you for all that you do. It's not, what you guys do in your foundation is not behind the scenes. It is definitely a visual outreach program that we are able to see in our schools, within our faculty, staff, and especially our students. Everything that you guys have done through fundraising and just really connecting with the students and the teachers at our schools is really impactful. And I just wanted to thank you from a student's approach of how we have really been impacted and how we have been positively affected by what you all are doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Campbell.
Sure, thank you. Since I brought this up, I just wanted to kind of wrap it around and say, absolutely concur with everything that fellow board members have spoken here today. As a volunteer, a donor, I helped you with Pop and Drop, like all the things, right? I completely love everything the Public Ed Foundation is doing and has done and will continue to do. I just felt that it was important for us to not have this in the consent agenda, but to be able to have this open conversation and discussion. Our community deserved the information. It was public, the information, whenever it did come out about the report. And so I felt it was important for us to at least have a public discussion so that we all landed in a place where we were comfortable to have this as a vote this evening. So thank you for the understanding.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All right, with no further discussion, we'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Megan, and your crew of board members that were able to meet here tonight. We appreciate you giving your time to be here with us this evening. Thank you so much. With that, I'm going to move into meeting reminders. There's a special administrative briefing and work session scheduled for August 14th at 9 a.m. The next administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for August 21st at 9 a.m. There's a school board meeting scheduled for August 26th at 5:30 p.m. And now we'll move into board comments. Ms. Martinez-Young.
No, Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Powers.
No, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Dr. Brewer.
Yes, I have a few things. Thank you. Mr. Whitehouse did a beautiful job recognizing all of those staff members that helped us get our schools opened yesterday. So I won't repeat everything he said because his words were beautiful. So thank you for that presentation, Mr. Whitehouse. But yes, our campuses are beautiful. They've done a great job. Every single staff member or board member that visited schools has shared this. The entire district leadership team shared. The campuses were put together. The technology was installed. Grass was mowed. Everything was nice. So we really are appreciative. I do want to let you know that we're still anticipating more students arriving before October. So we're at about 88% of where we believe we will be. So the students are coming. They just haven't all arrived yet. But even as of Monday, we were at 40,461 students, and that was 259 more than arrived last year on opening day. So
Minus the kindergartners, correct? Because all the kindergartners.
Third of the kindergarten.
that was a third of the kindergartners. So a third came today, and then one more third tomorrow, and then they will all be together on Thursday. So I did, Dr. Campbell commented on this, but I do want to just state publicly that we do have breakfast and lunch for free. We have for a few years. We do understand there are some districts that haven't provided that service, but we do. So parents, please know that we have free breakfast and lunch, and that's with only about 60% of our community actually being eligible for free and reduced lunch. But all students can eat breakfast and lunch for free. On Monday, they served over 40,000 meals, and that's including breakfast and lunch. So, but they can feed more, so please tell your students to take advantage of it, right? Ms. Belcher already left, but she's ready.
She gets up early.
She
gets up
yes. I do want to comment on the transportation, the mobile bus app. We understand that has been a challenge. I asked parents to be patient. It should be in full operation mode on Monday. But transportation team has fielded thousands, and that is no exaggeration, thousands of phone calls, and are helping students get routed and put on the right bus and put off on the right bus, right, Reverend Cummings? And so we're working through that, and so I just ask parents to continue to trust us, and the app will be ready to go fully on Monday. We also received our Cambridge scores today, which is always exciting. Usually it happens the second day of school. So this year we gave, and these are for exams that took place in May and June, all the way, second week of June. We gave over 1,192 more exams this year than we did last year. And with that, we still had a pass rate of 58%. And these are, so everyone understands, these are college-level courses that earn the students college credit at their university. And students that do pass 7 of the required courses based on the categories do earn the Academic Bright Future Scholarship as long as they have the volunteer hours. So this is a fantastic way to celebrate our students and to make sure that they are prepared for the next level. With a lot of people are familiar with, we say, ACE General Paper. That's one of the assessments given. We increased that exam this year with 450 additional exams this year, and the pass rate is 58% for the ACE General Paper. And that means we're providing more students the opportunity that might not have had the opportunity to take college-level courses, that opportunity to have that course, and we're still seeing the same pass rate. And that's a credit to our teachers that participate in professional development over the summer and that high level of instruction and collaboration that the teachers have with each other and those in the district that teach the same course. So that is some great news that I wanted to share with you this evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brewer. I do want to give our student board members an opportunity, so we'll start with you, Mr. Lombardo.
I just wanted to say thank you to you all for giving us the opportunity here, and as you were speaking about the opportunities that the county and our school board has been giving students all around the county have been just amazing, and what's been even more cool to see in the classrooms is that more people are taking advantage of those opportunities. And I think that that's the most important part, because you guys could do all the work and our county can do all the work, but what's really awesome is what the teachers are getting these students to do and what you all are getting these students to do, and they're taking advantage of the opportunities and they're not taking it for granted. And I do think that that is really awesome. And it is only, today was only the second day of school, so things are a little hectic, like you were saying. The buses are nobody's fault. That's always gonna be a problem at the beginning of the school year. I mean, you're looking at it, there's elementary schools, middle schools, and then there's high schools. And if something happens at the elementary school level, then it's gonna happen at the high school level too, just because of the way it goes up the ladder. So I think that people just need to stay patient throughout the school year, and it's at the beginning. From what I've seen, things are running very smoothly at Westport, and I've heard good things about what's happening at other schools as well. The classes have been full and they've been productive, and I do think that this is going to be a good school year, and I wanted to thank you all for that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Briggs?
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be representative of Forest High School on the board. As you all know, we recently underwent administration changes at Forest. We wish Principal Rembert the best of luck with his new district position, and the district is very fortunate to have him. Personally, I've known Principal Rembert since I was a freshman, and he has had a profound impact on me in helping me achieve my goals. With this, Forest and the student body is enthusiastic about Dr. Gary and becoming the new principal. We are very fortunate to have him as a principal. He has already, in the short time he's been there, has already had a profound impact on us. While there will be inevitably changes, the student body at Forest looks forward to supporting Dr. Gary in achieving his goals for this school year and beyond, which includes becoming an A-rated school, as he plans to help more students get into and pass accelerated classes. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a few times during the school year and before, and I really like his goals and his vision for this year and beyond. As you may or may not know, I spoke in front of the board earlier this spring regarding the opportunity to attend the United States Air Force's Flight Academy program through my Air Force Junior ROTC at Forest. And I am pleased to share that all 4 attendees from Forest graduated from this rigorous program, and 3 of us earned a private pilot's license. In addition to this past Saturday, my unit and me, we had the opportunity to present the colors at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' first preseason game, which was a truly amazing experience. And it was an honor to represent the largest unit in Marion County. I look forward to being a voice of the student body at Forest with you and sharing all the new and exciting topics that the board presents with my fellow students. So thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. All right, Dr. Campbell.
Sure, thank you. It's always great when we have new student board members. I love, this is exactly what we envisioned it to be, and you guys are just wonderful. It's way better. It's way better. But I always kind of believe it is almost like an internship in public policy, and so you're getting that glimpse, and potentially you're our future elected officials, and that's the whole goal of what we're trying to do, that we're training them up, raise a child in the way they'll go, and then hopefully they won't depart from it. So, nevertheless, I'm grateful to have you both here, and just for the community's sake, to understand that we're actually going to have a rotating calendar this year. So those who might be used to seeing the same students week after week for an entire quarter, board, you may not even be aware of that, but we are going to have a rotating calendar. We'll have basically 2 new students every time. So this is going to be great. You're going to get lots of opportunity to weigh in at different stages throughout the year instead of just getting the first quarter. So welcome again. Thank you. Lots of things have already been said about beginning of school. I have several different things I want to talk about, but first I'll just say that I have had the privilege and opportunity to be on, I think, 14 different campuses in the last 2 days. Lots and lots of great things happening on our campuses. Speaking of transportation, one of the fun things that I had an elementary school principal tell me today, that they did have a bus mishap yesterday in elementary because 2 children traded armbands because one liked the color, the other one had. It's an elementary, it is what it is. I mean, that can be, it can be a challenge. I mean, so, yes, sometimes we have those mishaps, but sometimes they absolutely are not on us at all. Those children made that decision, they just didn't know how impactful that decision was gonna be. But I'll get to a couple of other things in just a moment. I wanted to also, kind of in the beginning of my comments, mention a thank you to Representative Judson Sapp, who greeted students yesterday at Fort McCoy bright and early, before 7 a.m. I think he was there. And he was there with Dr. Brewer, and it was just a wonderful time. Thank you to the team for getting great pictures of that. Representative Judson Sapp for being there. And then also later on yesterday, he met with 4 of us board members to discuss our legislative priorities. I thought that was a really great discussion. He is on the committee that's talking about property taxes and what the plan is for the state, and we were able to talk a little bit about what his plans are and just kind of waiting to see what that's going to look like. But speaking of those legislative priorities, I did want to ask the board, because we do have another legislator meeting tomorrow with Senator Stan McClain, I did want to ask if we wanted to just collectively go ahead and say that our kindergarten start date, we want to change to August 10th instead of September 1st. It was something we talked about yesterday briefly. In the very first bullet initiative of our legislative priorities, talks to kindergarten being 5 by September 1. That's how statute reads, but if we're going to change the statute, let's go ahead and change the date if you all agree.
I agree.
I would just caution us to give that date, and I would say the first day of school, because every district starts on a different day. They don't, August 10th sometimes is on a weekend. Sure. Last week started August 14th recently because of the way it fell, and so I would just caution to be a little bit more vague and say by the district's for approved calendar first day of school, or something a little bit more vague. But that would be my only feedback.
Sure, no, and I completely respect that. August 10th is indicated in statute that school year has to begin August 10th or after, can't begin before. So that, just because August 10th is already listed in statute, I thought it might be consistent to keep that, but maybe it's on or after August 10th. Or just,
I could see a pain point from a parent, though, if August 10th is because it's the start of school,
Sure.
and then my kid's birthday is August 12th, so now they miss the cutoff
Sure.
to start kindergarten, because school actually didn't start till the 12th, but, do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, so
I mean,
if we
it's
want to
very
keep it
in the
September
weeds,
1,
but.
we can keep it September 1, we just kind of
No,
had
not
the.
that. That's old language. No one starts September 1st anymore, and won't until they stop testing, and that's not going to happen.
And with stagger starts, maybe we want to say August 20th or something like that. So then that would definitely cover, you know, the before and after 10 days. I wanted to open it up. We can't talk about this. It's something we decide, so I couldn't talk about it necessarily.
We do need to change it. I mean, I think we need to change it. September 1st just isn't even relevant anymore.
That's the whole system.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm an advocate of just the first day of school. That's my personal preference, but whatever's the pleasure of the majority of the board.
I can get on board with the first day of school. Dr. Brewer, do you have any
opinion?
Any input?
I think the 10-day window makes sense, but we can support anything.
Or to just say in August.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then that goes to August 31st, which is basically September 1st.
Right.
Possibly, but
So we can, if we are not going to land on it, we'll just say September 1st tomorrow when we're talking to him, but have the collective conversation, unless we want to land on a specific change to it right now. I don't want to belabor this, because that'll take us a long time. But know that those are my thought processes. Are we able to land on a specific date that we want to change it to?
I mean, we have a work session on Thursday, so we can dig into it deeper on Thursday potentially, and we can ad-lib a little bit tomorrow with Representative McClain.
Okay.
we realize that the September 1st is old language.
Yeah.
And
We're going to
hashing
talk
out.
about an update.
We're open to a broad conversation.
Because we already are updating something else. The appropriation is forthcoming anyways.
Forthcoming.
So we're going to have an updated one.
Sure.
So.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, didn't want to take too much time on that. But I also wanted to mention the FSBA has requested that we send legislative priorities by September 5th. And FSBA members can also submit their own individual ideas until that date. In years past, I've been the one to submit the ones on behalf of the board. Do you want me to do that again? Or do you, I can wait until after our work session for sure. We have until September 5th. Just wanted to.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'd appreciate you.
definitely talk about it.
Will we have an appropriation request by September 5th?
We won't put that in FSBA's priorities.
Oh, true, okay.
But good thinking. We hopefully will have that nailed down soon. Okay, perfect. All right, moving on to a couple of other things. I do have several other things I wanted to mention. Because Dr. Brewer, today in one of our elementary schools, it led me to believe that we might need to ask of one more data point from our kindergartners. I've already spoken to a member of your team about it, but I wanted to mention it, so like helping the chain of command here, not assigning something to one of your staff members without everybody agreeing to it. So honestly, this might help guide some federal legislation conversation. So in speaking with principals about new students coming into kindergarten that might be easily identified as needing extra supports. So in some cases, even parents are requesting that their students be in an inclusion class rather than a general education kindergarten class, but I understand that that is a really long process to even begin. So that might be legislative kind of conversations. Here's my direct question. If we're able to ask principals and/or kindergarten teachers, do you suspect that the student will require supports beyond a typical Tier 1 and Tier 2 academic and/or behavioral intervention? And I can give you that if you want that specifically, but if the board agrees, I think that might be helpful for us, again, in an elementary school today, talking to a principal, they have immediately identified a couple of students right off that they know those students have not and won't be able to get an IEP for quite some time, but even the parents in some cases are asking that they be in a different support system. So if we could just get numbers on that, I think that'll help drive those legislative conversations. I'm trying to find out, I think it is federal legislation that would have to be adapted, changed, at least addressed. There's some conversations federally that need to be happening about what that looks like. So do you suspect a student will require supports beyond a typical Tier 1 and Tier 2 academic and/or behavioral intervention?
Yeah, I got it.
And if the board agrees with that thought process, to find out about our kindergarten class. I think it speaks to community conversations. It also speaks to those other three questions we're having our principals find out for us about our kindergartners. And so, okay, terrific.
So we're looking for the number and the percentage based on the class or school.
Yes. Basically, if we have 3,000 kindergartners, do we have 5%? Do we have 45 total students? Like those, I don't really want specific kindergarten classes. I don't want to pinpoint any specific. I want general numbers to give us a really broad perspective on what we're seeing.
My
No
only,
additional, oh, go ahead.
I think the data there, we just need to add, some kids are gonna come already identified through fiddlers.
Absolutely.
And so we don't want those children included in that number.
Absolutely.
And so I think there needs to be a slight language change in what you said to exclude the children who are already identified. Because some children come to you already identified, and we just need to exclude them from the data set. I think.
Absolutely. I had a couple.
Numerator and denominator.
Their VPK IEPs were expired, so then they do have to go through the whole process again. So I learned a lot today, so.
I actually would like that, students that are already identified, I'd like that number separate, because I think that is important as driving community conversations, because you get the overall picture of what the need is in Marion County. So we may have 5% that are not identified, or we may have 12% that are identified. That really changes the narrative of how much and what that support looks like for our youngest learners. Yes.
Can I weigh in?
Go ahead.
I was just curious about how the recognition works. So for the children who are already identified, is this recognition of whether they should be part of this program by their teachers or by the principal of the school when they're?
So the students that are already identified, and that's part of this federal legislation conversation, there's a multi-pronged approach that has to take place. There has to be multiple different evaluations done on them, and then once they get to a certain point, the psychologist has a 60-day window then to fully diagnose them if they need additional support. So it's, right now, it can take months for that to happen. And if a parent walks in on day one and says, oh, no, my child is not gonna work in this gen ed, we don't have the ability legally to just place them in another, even if the parent has requested it, without something that documents it and backs it up.
So you're suggesting that people who aren't already identified, that because the evaluation takes so long, that there should be opportunities for them to be placed into these programs and into these learning facilities without having the evaluation?
Not necessarily. I think that, but it needs to be a greater conversation as to shortening the time frame, immediate identification. We know, and we've talked about a lot publicly, that Marion County a couple of years ago was 66 out of 67 counties for kindergarten readiness. So we know we have challenges, community conversations, and so that's part of what this is. We're asking for specific data points on our kindergartners, asking, do they know their name?
You've touched on something for me as a, just a career-long special educator, and one thing that has always bothered me is that, need drives placement. However, then there's also something called LRE, least restrictive environment, because we don't want our kids with disabilities to be, segregated from their gen ed peers. However, when you have a parent that walks in the first day of school with a 7-year-old that's never been in school, has 120 pages, and this did happen yesterday, 120 pages of documentation from the medical field saying that this student is absolutely on the autism spectrum, has already had outside behavior services and interventions, but has never set foot on a school campus. And then to have that student then start the first day of school in a complete gen ed classroom with a teacher that has absolutely no experience providing services to a nonverbal autistic child, who is that benefiting? And in this era of parent empowerment, which I completely believe in, if the parent is providing that information and basically begging, that kid should not have to spend the day being babysat by somebody because it's just too overwhelming for them to be in that classroom. So it's a conversation that we really need to bring back to the forefront. Marion County Public Schools in past years had gotten dinged for over-identifying kids in need of services because some of the kids are tough, let's face it. And you give them an IEP and then they're not in that class anymore. And let's face it, that can be a relief to the teacher. But we're here to serve students, and that works both ways. So I'll just say that. I'm all in on the conversation.
Thank you. So I think the data will help drive the conversation. So let's find out how many we actually have identified. And again, I personally don't need to know school or classroom or any of that. Just globally, 3,000 kindergartners, and this is how many students we could say. Same thing with all the other data points that you guys are working on for us. Okay, sorry, board, I have just a couple more things. Again, principal conversations, specifically about progress monitoring and the adaptive nature to the tests. So this honestly was a bit more eye-opening to me in the last couple of days than I realized. So for the general population, essentially, if a student has a high-level question in the progress monitoring and they answer it incorrectly, the test automatically adapts and sends them to lower-level questions. And for a student to climb their way out of that hole to get back to the high-level questions isn't always easy. Simultaneously, if the same would hold true if they took a guess on the high-level question and got it right, then it puts them in the category of high-level questions that they may get all of them wrong. And so that really is a challenge. So the reason I bring this up is because of communication to parents. So I popped into a grade level teaching cohort today talking about their tests and parent communication and all. And I've also had a community conversation with a SAC committee chair about this very thing, that parents may not really be aware of how tests are conducted. Honestly, I wasn't until I had this conversation yesterday. And so parents at home may be offering counterproductive information, like make sure you skip that question and go back to it, like we were always taught if you were a Gen Xer, like you can go back to, that's not the way this works anymore, or make sure you make your best guess. No, that's not how this works anymore. So it made me wonder just today on the second day of school, if we could have a specific communication campaign that helps families understand all year long how these progress monitoring adaptive tests are conducted. So just thinking about that, if we happen to decide that we want to do that, one teacher specifically mentioned using a metaphor of gaming and leveling up and the coins that you would get. And if we choose to do that, I'll be happy to help share her idea and get her connected. If that's something we move forward on, just putting that out there. Also talking about communicating consistently with families about their student test scores. Nationally, parents have a misconception about how their students may be getting really good grades, if they're even tracking them, but making good grades, but may not be proficient in that specific subject. So that was helpful talking to those teachers today, and just talking about consistent and regular communication will be helpful to let parents and the community have realistic expectations. Just because you're getting A's on your coursework doesn't necessarily mean you actually are proficient in the subject. So just communication. I think parents and families in our community needs to understand what that really looks like. There's another conversation that I'm going to save for another day. On a positive note, Dr. Brewer already mentioned it. Congratulations to the students throughout the district who learned today they passed those ACE exams, and some of them learned they didn't pass but have now put a plan in place to retake the exams, and that will happen in November. And so that is a benefit to many, many students in the ACE program, and has benefited my own family before. I'm looking forward to our work session this Thursday, talking with Upward Communities again, as well as our capital budget, talking food service and grants and all the other funds, looking ahead to what that looks like. I had the privilege of speaking about that today with community members. But overall, great things are happening all throughout our district. Thank you to the hard work of all the team members, the great 2 days that we've already had. We certainly still have some challenges, but overall, students and families have been welcomed back to clean campuses and smiling faces. So thank you so much. Let's help every student succeed this year.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Campbell. Dr. James.
Thank you so much. I will keep it brief. I hear thunder, which means who knows what might happen with our power in here any minute. So I want to first take a moment to thank Dr. Brewer for acknowledging all of the support staff that was here tonight. Oftentimes, even in church last Sunday, we find ourselves acknowledging teachers and administrators. And I almost caught myself correcting my pastor, but I did not, because I wanted him to make sure he included everyone in the second and third service, because there are so many, to be honest, there are more support staff than there are teachers and administrators, and probably, I'm guessing, I think that number is probably accurate, but it's close. If it's a close tie, if not. And there are so many support staff that make it happen. The bus drivers, the students wouldn't get to, over 50% of our students would not make it to school if the bus drivers did not show up to drive the buses, right? And so taking time this evening to acknowledge, I have not been a part of that acknowledgement previously in such a public way, and I'm grateful for that opportunity tonight, because truly those individuals are making literal miracles happen over the summer, every summer. And I have walked many schools the last couple of days, and truly our schools look really wonderful. Some of them need a lot of work still, but the floors look so clean and the paint is fresh. Walking the North End over the last few years, there's been a valiant effort to make sure that our colors match on the North End. The North End is maroon and tan, I'll call it. I call it something else. Gold. Well, it's tan on the walls. So I understand that it's gold, but when you are walking campuses, it is tan. It is tan on the walls. So the North End colors may be gold, but it is tan on the walls. And so there has been a valiant effort to change the paint color, because on the North End, we have had a variety of colors over the years from Spar and Anthony and all of the schools. And so over the last 3 or 4 years, there's been such amazing improvements to just consistency in paint color, which seems really silly, but when we're freshening paint, why not also freshen up the consistency? And so North Marion Middle School looked amazing yesterday, truly. And to that, I mentioned it a little earlier, but the best part of any day for me is a day when I get to see students and watching them walk in and not a single cell phone. It's as if a miracle has occurred throughout Marion County Public Schools. I have been on a variety of campuses, high school all the way to elementary, and I have not seen a cell phone. And it's a hard reset, and I am feeling very energetic and positive about what we're going to be able to do this year with this hard reset. But all of these middle schoolers walking in at North Marion from the bus, walking up, and normally you would see them just looking down at their phones, and not a one. They were all heads up. They were smiling, looking, some of them a little timid because it was their first day in middle school. But it was wonderful to see students, and that is one of my favorite things to do. Visiting schools and talking with principals, I know that I believe Dr. Brewer is working with Ms. Usher, because Ms. Usher was at some sites, and they're still working on that North End plan, and I'm sure that that is forthcoming. Ms. Usher was visiting some sites today, and so I'm looking forward to getting into a deeper conversation about addressing the north end, as it has been a public conversation where our enrollment is at some of our north end schools, and making sure that we are not only filling those schools with every possible student we have on the north end to attend, but then also addressing what we're going to do in the coming years to fill those seats. Dr. Pope and I did our doctorate together, and to know Dr. Pope is to love him. He is an incredibly eloquent speaker, and I just wanted to publicly thank him for his remarks tonight. I think that was incredibly timeless. He did a wonderful job telling that story, and it was a great way to start the school year. Something that's been brought to my attention, two things: transportation. Bus routes and bus numbers both start with 1s and 2s for many bus routes and bus numbers. And students, when they get their bus pass, and I don't know if this is a new thing this year, I've been told the bus pass looks different this year, but when they get their bus pass, it has the route number and the bus number, and we have students getting on the wrong bus because they thought it was a route, not a bus. So it's like bus 2042, route 2039, just is giving random numbers. And both of those bus numbers are in line, and so then they get on the wrong bus because they don't know bus and route difference. So in the future, if it's potentially available to start our routes in 3s or 4s, so then there's never this confusion anymore. But middle schoolers were getting on the wrong buses yesterday on the north end because they didn't know the difference. God bless them. And I wanted to note 58% of students passing ACE General Paper means 58% of students in that class got an acceleration point, which is a tremendous improvement. And I personally think that's one of the easiest buckets we can work towards to improving on our school grade formula for high schools specifically. And I think expanding this is not only giving opportunity for acceleration to all students, but it's also just highlighting that students are very capable and our teachers are really awesome. And so giving them these opportunities is amazing. I think that will round it out for me. It's going to be a great school year, and I'm really excited to be a part of Marion County Public Schools.
Thank you, Dr. James. Reverend Cummings.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, we're off to a good start with school starting on yesterday. All of us are making rounds to get to the different schools. We can't, some of us try to make it to every school in one day, Ms. Campbell. All of us aren't able to do that in one day. We have a large county, and to get to all those schools, I think you got to do it in stages. I had the pleasure to be at both new schools yesterday, and it was very smooth in how they opened, and just pleased with what I'm seeing in the classrooms. I got the opportunity to go to several schools today as well, and just going across the district, it's amazing. We have some terrific staff that are creative, that are innovative in how they are setting up their classrooms, what they're offering to these students. I don't think I saw any two classrooms that were just alike. And so that tells me they're trying to meet the needs of the diverse group of students who are different, who are ready to learn, but you have to meet the kids where they are. So I appreciate that. I was at Madison Street today, and I saw a classroom that was actually almost set up like a college auditorium. I think it was a 3rd grade class. And I was like, why'd you set up that way? She said, that way I can, kind of circular, and
around,
I can sit behind them and see if they're on their Chromebooks or what they're doing on their Chromebooks. But it made sense to me because everything has to have an end goal. So I do want to thank the staff, everybody that's back, that's working hard to make a difference. Thank you for recognizing the support staff that was here today. One of the biggest things is for these kids to be successful is they have to be in the right environment. Schools have to be clean. Schools have to have the necessary resources there and the necessary environment for them to be successful. I saw that. I'm seeing that as I go around the county. Special shout out, and I said it to Ms. Floyd when she was here this afternoon, but Dunellen Elementary was not able to get a lot of things done over the summer because they were out of the building. And Ms. Floyd and the team of one went in a week and got that school ready. And I heard that from the principal, Ms. Wiggins. She was just shouting the praises about how they would not have been ready yesterday if it had not been for Ms. Floyd. And that team of one getting over there and doing that, getting that school ready. So shout out to them. And then she was here tonight, so I shared that with her on what Ms. Wiggins said, Principal Wiggins said. I do want to say this because I sent a text out this morning to the superintendent and to Mr. Whitehouse and some other staff because there are some legislative changes, some laws that have changed that, concerning testing that, and I'm going to say it periodically through the year. I told Dr. Brewer I would say this, that because of testing, graduation's changed. You can't just walk anymore. You cannot participate in graduation ceremonies anymore just because if you haven't passed the necessary state assessment test. And oftentimes, and we get the calls 2 days before graduation, hey, my baby ain't graduating, and can he at least walk and get a certificate? That day is gone. That day is gone and past. So I'm going to say it. I told Mr. Whitehouse I was going to say it throughout the year. So it will not be a surprise when we get to the end of the year and your child is not able to participate in graduation ceremonies. So start talking now to them. Start telling them to make sure they pass those state assessment tests now so that it won't be an issue. We won't ever have to have those conversations. You guys, the board, student board members, talk to your peers. Let them know, hey, it's not for us to be hard or dogmatic or anything, but the fact of the matter is that's the law now. So, we want every kid to be able to walk across that stage and shake their hands and hug them, and they can shout and do whatever they want to do, but we want them to do it the right way. So I'm encouraged to start saying that periodically. I think all of us need to keep saying that periodically throughout this year so that it does not surprise anyone. And then my final thing, and it's not a negative, but it's not a positive. We know every year we're going to have hiccups in transportation. We know that. We know we're going to have hiccups in transportation. That's expected because of the size of Marion County and the distance travel to getting kids from home to schools, from school to home, and the many miles that they're going to travel. But we also know that it's coming every year. So we ought to be able to try to alleviate the hiccups as much as possible. One of the things that I understand the first week of school, I understand the second week of school, but I also understand that at some point you have to have a cutoff on when things are happening. And one of the things that I don't want to see, and I'm going to address it now so that we can start working on the problem now, is tardy buses, late buses. I can understand a bus being 10 minutes late. I can understand a bus being 20 minutes late. But I will not accept the bus being 2 hours late. We had that, and we can't have that. And so, Dr. Brewer, I want to ask that we start tracking the latest buses at every school every day. Why? Because we say that that these kids need to be in the seats. The bus need to be in the seats. And if we are the culprit of keeping them out of the seat, then that's a problem on us. And I don't know why the bus was late 2 hours. I'm not investigating that. But I just know that we can't. That's the instructional time that they're missing, and 2 hours of instructional time. If you get to school and they're already in third period, that's not good. That's not good. So we need to track that because we've been all adamant about attendance and being there, and grade, school grade, county grade cannot improve if they're not spending time in the seat. So I would like for us to have some type of report on the latest the bus is. And again, 5-10 minutes, I understand that. But when it's 2 hours and they've already missed breakfast, we just talked about they get free breakfast. Well, I don't want breakfast 2 hours. That's not breakfast anymore, that's brunch. So we need to do what we need to do to make sure these kids are getting to school on time. And again, I thank Mr. Ostanek and his team, Ms. Howard and all of them for what they're doing. But I don't want us to wait a month and then start talking about we got a problem. We need to start dealing with the problem day one.
Yes, sir, we can do that.
Thank you. That's my comments for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Ms. Thrower.
Thank you. Gosh, just so much excitement and so much personal pride from so many individuals in getting every school year started off right. And then our task becomes taking that energy and that enthusiasm and bottling it and putting it on a shelf somewhere so that when we need to sprinkle it out at different times, through the year, so we can sustain, the energy and the positivity and the problem solving. On the transportation front, I was really glad to see that we're continuing to upgrade our apps. It's made such a difference, with when Dr. Gullett rolled out Here Comes the Bus, and now we have a new version. I'm not sure, why it wasn't ready and trained up and functioning by the first day of school, but that was a missed opportunity. And so there's always reasons why things happen, and they're understandable, but at the same time, we don't want to shoot ourselves in our own foot, so to speak. So I think that we all just, to quote a not-so-famous football coach, just keep working hard to get better every day. That's what it's all about, and acknowledge our challenges and problem solving and keep them moving, because there's only 180 days in the school year. I am personally so thankful about the cell phones, finally. Thank you to our legislators for making it a law. I've said all along that adults struggle with their cell phone use, and we were yet allowing kids to have them on campus. Kids turn back into children when they actually get to interact with each other again. And I see you guys nodding because it was something I wanted to actually ask both of you. And just quickly, I see you nodding. Does that mean you're in agreement with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I definitely agree with it. Just seeing all the students in my classes not being on their cell phones in class, and just really looking at what the teacher is doing and actually listening to what the teacher is lecturing to us and what they're telling us, it honestly, it's happy for me to see it, because as someone who isn't really on their cell phone a lot, just being able to be included in conversations like that, but also this is helping the students more than they realize themselves, because obviously they want to be on their phones, like that's how people are nowadays, but not being on their phones is helping them way more than they think it is. So I really think it's a blessing in disguise for a lot of these students.
Yeah, and from what I've seen in the last 2 days, there's been so much more productivity and engagement already. I haven't seen a single person in any of my classes on their phones, and even when they're going to the bathroom, nobody's on their phones. So I think it was a really, really great, and I know a lot of people in schools are probably not too happy about it right now, but I think they'll see the results of that.
Great, thank you for that feedback. It is one of the multiple reasons why this board was so strong on having student board member representation. Your input is so vital. It's wanted, it's needed, it's appreciated. So just again, welcome, and really glad to have you on board. Thank you for your service. My dad is a veteran, so great opportunities all the way around. You're doing excelling things as well, and so we just look forward to following your success through the school year. Also wanted to thank Representative Sapp for his time with us, and thank you, Teresa Boston-Ellis, for always reminding us about recurring costs and partially funded mandates, because we did share those concerns with Representative Sapp, and he listened, and one of the big ones was our transportation allocation. It is a huge task to get our kids on time, pick up and delivery, and we are not getting paid enough to do it, so we're taking it out of reserve funding, which is ridiculous. That's no way to run a business. So we had a great conversation with him yesterday. He was very open to hearing what we had to say, so thank you, Board Member Campbell, for setting that up. Starting off the school year with just such energy and enthusiasm, New St. John Church, under the leadership of Pastor Brooks, it's been multiple years now that they have done Back to School Sunday. And it's all about celebrating the kids, lifting up the kids. They sit in the first few rows of the pews. They participate highly in the service. And it is such an incredible uplifting way to kick off the school year. And I know a lot of other churches have special services as well, but we were well represented with Dr. Brewer was there and shared great inspirational comments, as did Board Chair Conrad. And to connect with the community to that depth and at that level is what really brings us together. So it really is one of my, other than the Christmas service, probably my favorite service of all of them through the year. So I know that will continue. Everything looks so good, and I know other board members had spoken to this, but at Oakcrest specifically, there is now a sunny yellow door that everybody walks through. It's just, I don't know, you can't help but put a little smile on your face. First of all, it sort of takes you by surprise. And secondly, it's just so cheery. So it's just little things like that make it really fun. Fort King Middle School, Dads on Duty is a not so new program now, but these gentlemen are there welcoming students every single day, morning and afternoon, just with fist bumps, high fives, great to see you today, see you tomorrow, hope you had a great day. And I know it resonates because when you get middle school kids to say to much older people in their eyes, are you going to be here tomorrow? You know you've made an impact. And they were there on day one, and the kids were really glad to see them. So I guess, I'll just leave it at that for tonight. There is so much great momentum at the start of the school year, and so now our task as the adults is to help the kids sustain that and keep it moving throughout the next 178 days. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. I just have a few things as well. Most of them are positive. My one kind of negative comment really is just for the public that the only complaints I saw and heard about were transportation involved. And so I just want to encourage everyone to be patient because on Thursday, all kindergartners will be going to school. And so that is one of our biggest challenges for transportation. Besides trading bracelets. They just, checking them in and getting them on the bus, all of those things takes a lot longer. They're just so little. So please be patient with us. We are doing everything we can, and we'll continue to work to improve and make sure those buses are getting to school on time. So I wanted to mention that. Dr. Brewer, I wanted to thank you for your theme that you have started our school year with, one team, one mission. I'm really grateful to be included as part of the team. And so you invited us to wear our blue shirts on Monday for the first day of school and just received so much positive feedback because it didn't matter really who I was. It was that somebody in a blue shirt that was part of the district came to check on them at their school. And so I was kind of a couple spots, I was behind Reverend Cummings. I didn't know that, but he had come in. And so people literally would say, oh my gosh, this is the fourth blue shirt we've seen today. And so they just really, just from wearing the same uniform top, some of our district staff felt supported on a great, the first day is great, but it's exhausting. It's a week rolled into one. So I want to thank you for that initiative, and I want to thank you for including the board, because I, for one, and I know the rest of the board too, we love being part of the team. And board members, I want to say this came up in conversation the other day. I'm so grateful to be one of the 5 people on this board because everybody is out doing the work. We all do it differently, but really the most active group of people on a school board that I know, I have the pleasure to know. So I want to thank you all for the work that you do each and every day. And I heard a lot of people say it's the best rollout to the beginning of the school year that we've had in a long time. A lot of things fell into place and ran smoothly, and so that's exciting. And I hope we continue. I see some heads nodding. I hope that you heard the same thing. That really helps drive the momentum for the beginning of the school year. So just want to thank you, Dr. Brewer, and your team for that. I too, Ms. Thrower mentioned the new St. John's Baptist Church. This first couple weeks before school starts, the calendar is booked, even on Sunday. And so, although I was excited, I was also tired Sunday as I headed to New St. John's Baptist Church. But I left with my heart filled with joy. It was the best hour and a half I spent, and I'm so thankful for the community for including the school board as in part of their mission. And you really can feel just the community spirit of involving the students, involving school staff, and involving the parents. And so really, I told the pastor as we were leaving, I said, I'm going to take that part of the sermon, that 30 minutes right in the middle. I need to play that piece every Sunday night before we kick off a new week, because it really was a great message. And so I just appreciate the support from the community and helping everyone understand it takes a village to educate a child. And so just really thankful for all of those partnerships. Just looking, so Dr. Campbell mentioned, I did not know that we were rotating our student representatives. And so I do understand the reasoning for that, because we get to the end of the school year and it becomes really hard on you all, because you have a lot due. But I'm kind of sad about this, because our student board members have been awesome this evening, so we are gonna miss you. I am gonna miss you, and we'll look forward to the next time you are joining us on the board. And, many times, the news media, social media, we would talk about all the problems that we have in public education, but there are millions of wonderful and positive things that are happening in public education. And so I just want to say we have two very positive students here, a part of public education, and boy, do they represent us well. So thank you again for giving your time this evening to join us. So,
Thank you.
right. With that, board, that closes out my comments. And if there is no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
They are ready. Thank you, Ms. Thrower and Reverend Cummings. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0, and we adjourn at 7:27. Thank you, board.
Colin and Luke.